Hello all, welcome back to Career with Vasanth YouTube channel. My name is Vasanth. The previously channel was known as Uncommon Gigs. As you know, this is a video series where I am doing a lot of mock interview. With me today I have Madan. More about Madan himself will be telling. So this is a mock interview where it's going to be purely based on JavaScript. We are going to discuss pure fundamental JavaScript question for next 30 minutes. Like I always say, the best way to utilize this mock interview is like after I ask a question, pause the video, answer or solve the problem whatever I give, then resume the video and see whether your answer and answer given by Madan is matching. And at the end of the video, I'll try to give answers to all the questions that Madan might have given a wrong answer. Or if he's given a right answer, probably I will tell what was right or what was wrong so that you can get yourself clarified. So make a best use of this. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, Career with Vasanth, please subscribe and like the video. You'll not regret it. And let's start now. Madan, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Madan. I did graduated in 2020. I am from computer science background. So I have totally 3.5 years experience working in JavaScript. So I have experience working in full stack applications as well. And
Okay.
currently I'm working as a front-end developer.
Wonderful, wonderful, Madan. So, Madan, which place you are from?
I'm from Trichy, Vasant.
Trichy is in Tamil Nadu, correct?
Yeah, South
Okay,
India.
sure. If any audience watching and they're from Tamil Nadu, please comment for the session. Comment in the add a comment. So I've shared a link with you, Madan, and open that link. Close any other tabs that are open. Just open this tab and present your screen. Let's get started. It has
Hope my
started.
screen is visible.
Yes,
Yeah.
now it's visible. Okay. So Madan, let's start with some extreme basics. Okay. Maybe let the zoom be there. Give one control plus. It'll be easy for audience to see. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
So, tell me, like, what are polyfills, Madan?
Uh,
Have you heard the term
Poly,
polyfills?
uh,
Polyfills, polyfills.
Polyfills, no, Vasant,
You might have
not
you
really.
not heard also. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
I have heard about it.
yes, yes, sure. See, another way to put that it's like the most common term that I use also is the custom implementation of the built-in methods. Okay. For example,
Okay.
most interviews they'll ask you to write like polyfill for array.map, array.reduce, array.forEach. Have you ever encountered those questions or have you practiced them?
Yeah, Vasant, got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, mainly we will be. I have written few polyfills for array methods actually. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. If I ask you to write, will you be able to write, Madan?
Yes. Some
Sure.
basic
Sure,
polyfills I can.
sure. No, we'll go to the writing part first, but you tell me, definitely a concept itself cannot be created for the interview, correct? The polyfill as a concept is definitely not introduced for somebody to ask in the interview, correct? It might have some other significance. So where I'm coming from is, can you tell me why are polyfills essential? Or writing a
Okay.
custom implementation for a built-in method, right? Why it is necessary?
So yeah, got it. So um, uh, right now the array methods which we have doesn't actually may not match with our business logic or
Okay.
sometimes. So when we are working in our projects, so everything has some standards, right? Every software. So maybe there some developers might have implemented a array methods. I mean custom implementation for this, and
Yes.
they might use there. Yeah.
I agree. So one reason could be like whatever you want that may not exist already. So you built, right, add your own. Correct? Definitely that is a use case. But with my experience, it has never happened. Has it happened to you? Like where you wanted something and that has never existed in the built-in library. Has it ever occurred?
Yes. I haven't used it.
Yes, sure. I mean, you're telling you also never encountered the scenario, correct? Where you wanted a built-in
Correct.
function and that doesn't exist. Anyways, because it may not be that way. All of us try to achieve what we want using the built-in methods. That's the usual tendency, correct?
Mhm.
So that could be one reason, obvious reason. Okay. Any other reason that you can think of, Madan? Okay. Let's start with a very extreme simple example, Madan. Okay. Like array.map. Give a right now first write array.map and give me a small example, not polyfill, just the array.map.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, Vasanth. So
Yeah.
let me create a dummy array.
Yes.
Uh, so for now, I will use this map method.
Yeah.
and inside this I will have one array
Yeah.
element. So I will use this as an arrow function.
Yeah.
Here I will return this array element into 2. So I will multiply this multiply by 2. So if I log this, I will be getting an output 2, 4, and 6.
Let us see.
So yeah. So
Okay.
basically, this is creating a new array, keeping this as a base
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah. Then I'm
Yeah.
sure you are aware of the difference between map and for each. What is the difference?
Yeah. For each doesn't actually create a new array. Map actually creates on a new array.
Correct. Absolutely. Tell me a scenario like when we'll use a for each and when you will use map. Like try to come up with some practical scenario to just to differentiate.
So yeah, for each, okay, you need some practical examples, right?
Mm. Mm. And this will come
So
there. Yeah, yeah, if you know, please tell me. Yes.
Uh, yes, I don't have one practical example, but the ideal scenario is when we just wanted to iterate over the array and
Mm.
do some calculations. We will go with for each, but we need to uh, uh, get one a new array out of that array something. Then we will be going with map.
Okay, sure, sure. We'll get into these polyfills in a while. Okay, I'll share a small code snippet with you in the chat section. Okay, and
Okay.
I
Yeah.
want you to look at the snippet and guess the output. Okay,
Yeah. Sure.
copy the code, put in the chat section, and for the even the audience whoever is watching this, you also just look at the snippet and pause the video and try to guess the output. Yeah,
So I will be removing this
yeah, yeah.
top.
Yes. Look
So
at it
okay.
carefully. Take 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. And at the end of the day, I'm not expecting the right answer. I'm expecting a right explanation. So you tell the output and
Okay.
I will not give you 100 marks. I just want you to give a right explanation for that. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Awesome.
Yeah.
So mm, set timeout. It is actually an asynchronous browser API. Then we have a promise.resolve and end. Okay. Okay, Vasant. I have
Yeah. Tell me, what is the output?
so the output will be first this start log will be printed.
Okay.
Then we have set timeout. This will be going into this uh, macro task,
Yeah.
and we will be the control will be reaching to line number 5.
Yeah.
So here the promise is resolved immediately. So inside promise will be logged. Then
Correct.
we will be the end will be printed. Then we this set timeout log inside set timeout will be printed.
Good. So start, inside promise and end followed by inside set timeout. Correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Start, inside promise and an inside timeout. Correct?
Correct,
Can you
correct.
please run the code? We will check. Start,
Okay.
end,
End.
inside promise, and inside set timeout. You can still like it's no problem. You tell me. Why do you think like this output is coming?
Yeah, okay. So one thing for sure, set timeout, this will be moving to macro task. And this promise is also, I think it's actually an asynchronous
Correct.
operation.
Correct.
So that's why it's getting logged after all the synchronous tasks are over.
Exactly. So it may not be like giving the answers at the early, like it's not a process synchronously. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, sure. Let me share another snippet with you. So I'm sharing the snippet here. Again, copy paste the snippet and if you can comment the snippet or even if you remove the snippet also no problem. I can share with you after the recording the all the
Okay.
snippet that I've asked you. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Even the audience also look at the snippet, try to guess the output for this. Yeah.
Okay. So I think
Yeah.
this is kind of a closure.
Yeah.
Uh, So one, we will be control will be reaching into this first outer function is called.
Yeah.
So inside outer function, we are logging one, and then we have one another function called inner. So we are calling this inner function. Inner function will also be logging one, and then we are setting this variable x to 2.
Mm.
Okay, we already have variable named x
Mm.
equal to 1. So I think there is a possibility this might error on 8, but
Mm.
if not the error case, the output will be 1 and 1.
Okay. So we have two console.log. I'm calling the outer function, and inside outer function, in line number 3, we are logging it. And then the control would come to line number 7, where we are calling the inner function. Both the places we are logging the value of x only. Correct?
Yeah,
So in line
yeah.
number 3, you are saying what will be the output?
In line number 3, the output will be 1,
Okay, line
and
number 3 will be 1. Okay.
and here as well the output will be 1. Then only we are logging actually x equal to 2. But
Okay.
if this 7 is called after line number 8, this could have been 2.
Okay. Run the code. Let us see.
Yeah, undefined.
Okay. Again, like I
uh,
told, you can still check why it is undefined.
Outer function is called um, this is actually an this has the global scope. So uh, I don't have clear explanations
Okay.
for this.
Yeah, this is something to do with the hoisting. Okay. Concept of hoisting. So you tell me, explain more like about hoisting. Just let's stick to variable hoisting. Tell me how the variable hoisting works.
So there are actually three parts actually. A variable can be hosted at the global phase of one particular script, function level, and then the block level. So yeah, and
No,
also
no.
there are
Where I'm coming from is explain me like the hosting with respect to variable, right? Variable give it const, whether it
oh, got
hosted,
it.
where, and let, like how they're hosted. Please explain.
Okay, so let and const have a block scope, or
Correct.
so it cannot be actually if we declare a variable inside a block with let or const, and if we try to access it outside that block, we will be getting a undefined or
Correct.
error out.
Correct.
But where is actually globally hosted, and it can be accessed anywhere
Okay.
in that paper.
Correct. So where is a global hosted? So you can access from anywhere you are saying, Madan. Am I right?
Yeah, correct. Very
So
very where.
let's say there is a function block, like line number 2 to line number 9. Okay. So
Oh
there is a
yeah,
var keyword inside that block. So
correct,
whether
correct.
that variable is accessible throughout the block.
Got it, Wilson. So the function is actually also hosted. The functions are also actually hosted. By the time of this declaration of this outer function, this where keyword is not actually declared. That's why we are getting the error undefined.
No,
I
you're
think
not
that's
getting
the
an
case.
error. You're not getting an error. Okay. So you
Uh,
told about let and const hosting, right? Tell me about variable hosting. Variable created with where keyword is hosted or not.
So yeah, variable with where keyword is hosted.
Okay. Variable created with where keyword is hosted. Correct. And what is
Yeah.
the difference then between let const and where hosting?
Mhm. So yeah, as I mentioned, let and const have a block scope. Where has that global scope?
I'll tell you another difference. Along with that, a variable created with var keyword is hosted and initialized with a value of undefined.
Oh, okay,
Is that
okay,
true or
okay.
not?
Uh, so that is uh, uh, by analyzing this function, I think you are right actually.
Correct. Correct. See, undefined is not an error for you and the audience also. I'm saying, right? Undefined is a value, that expected value in this case. Okay.
Mhm.
Sure. So you can stop sharing, Madan. Okay. So now let us understand like some fundamentals of JavaScript. Let's say now I want you to know how the JavaScript engine works. The fundamentally, right? Let's say you wrote a code, same code, whatever we wrote just now, and we want to execute that code. Tell me step by step operations, what all happen behind the scenes to execute the code.
Okay. So uh, yeah, uh, uh, if we consider one a script, a main JS script or something, so uh, the functions will be actually declared. So there will be few functions and variables, let's say. So the variables and functions also will be declared. Upon calling that one of the function, the control will be going to that function and doing that operation. So it will be executed line by line and synchronously JavaScript codes.
No, correct. This is at a very high level. So I just wanted to understand a little bit in depth. I'll give you some hints probably where I'm going at, Madan. Okay. So whenever we have a JavaScript code, first it goes to a parser. A parser will generate an abstract syntax tree, and then the further execution goes. Any chance you are aware of this flow?
No,
Okay,
not
please read
really.
it. You and the audience whoever is watching, you can read more about this particular concept. You can by going to the MD and official documentation. Okay, so
Okay,
tell
yeah.
me, what is callback hell, Madan?
Callback hell. Okay.
Yeah,
So the problem with this callback hills are actually the codes will be a little bit messier to read actually, and adding any features on changes on top of it will be a bit difficult. But uh, and it is actually used to perform some asynchronous operations.
correct. So give me an
Yeah.
example for callback hell. Like, what is? Oh, can you give me one simple example for callback hell?
Mm,
No problem. I'll
I
ask you.
have to.
Yes, no problem. I'll ask you another simple question. Okay, tell me what are promises in JavaScript?
So yeah, promises in JavaScript is actually used to uh, handle asynchronous operations. So that's why we use promises.
Correct.
It
So I don't want a bookish definition, but give a very basic definition that you have understood. What are promises?
Okay. So promises are generally used to fetch any server's data HTTP calls, or one main special common use cases. Maybe this one.
The promise will, that's not the exact definition. You go and read after the interview. Okay. So are you aware of something called promise.all in JavaScript?
Yeah, promise dot all. I know. I have
Sure.
aware.
Sure. Are you aware of what are called higher order functions in JavaScript?
Higher order functions. Yeah, I have heard of the
Tell me, what
term.
are higher order functions?
So uh, there, there can be few functions actually. Let's say uh, some inner functions actually, but we want to actually do some modifications to those functions. Uh, uh, Maybe I can put it as a, we have YouTube, right? YouTube
Yes.
application. In YouTube application, there will be grids actually. Many grids
Correct.
will be present, video grids. But in that add section alone, we will be having a few additional changes added on top of it. So
Okay.
that might have been created with the higher order functions. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what you're saying is not fully wrong, Madan. All I want is a somewhat basic definition. What do you think higher order functions are? One basic definition, like not bookish one. Like you can give anything that you have understood, right? That way only you can narrate. Tell me what is higher order functions.
uh, Adding some special capabilities or uh, additional features to one common function is what I mean, higher order functions,
Hmm.
and similar to higher order components as well.
Okay. Not like fully correct. Again, this also you can go and check after the interview. Okay. So you know what are prototype chain in JavaScript
Prototype chain,
or prototypes in general? Do you know what are prototype or prototypal inheritance?
no, I have to refresh.
No problem. No problem. You hope you're aware of call apply bind, Madan.
Yeah, it comes under prototyping,
Yeah.
correct?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but in general also it's a very common interview topic. Will you be able to write an example for
Okay.
call apply and bind?
No, sometimes I need to.
No problem. No problem.
So
Okay. So,
should I prepare it? Mm.
no problem. Like I always say this, right? Interview is just a game. There are things that you know, there are things that I know. If you are lucky, then you will know what I know. That's all. Correct. Like
Okay.
let's say you start taking me interview, I'll also not able to answer some questions. Correct. So whatever from my understanding and what is the commonly asked interview question, right? From that, I'm trying to ask some questions primarily. Okay. Now let's go back to the same question that I asked. Now present your screen and write a polyfill for array.map method and we'll end the interview. Then I'll give my feedback. And for audience who want to write and don't know how to get started with polyfills, there is a series of mine dedicated for writing polyfills. I'll put the link in the up as well as in the description section. Please go ahead and check. Polyfills basically are, like he told, creating the custom implementation for built-in methods. Okay. So even I have written implementation for map method also.
think no, I need to actually uh,
Hmm.
refresh on this topic or
You
something.
want to refresh the browser?
No, no, I need to refresh on these topics.
You want to refresh the concept, is it? Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. You can stop sharing, Madan. I'll give my review for whatever we have had so far. But just before I give my honest feedback about whatever I interacted with you so far, if you have any questions in your mind, please tell me, Madan.
Uh, no, Sant, I think this is actually good. I got to know where I stand, so
Yes,
I
yes,
think I need to refresh the
yes, yes.
fundamentals.
Sure. No problem, Madan. Like I told, like there's a different level in the interview preparation. Like whatever the level that you know, you can clear some interview, but there's some levels that you need to prepare for clearing some other interviews. Correct. So I'm gonna like you already told, my honest opinion is like this way, Madan. This might applicable for even the audience who is watching. So fundamental concepts of human, whatever you know it well. Uh, like whatever the concept that you know, to a large extent, you know it well. But there's some concepts which you don't know or you barely know. Like for example, the hosting question that I asked, you know what is hosting, but whenever I barely like you don't know completely. So only you're not able to predict the output for the given snippet. Correct. And even on the whatever the array dot map polyfill that I asked, right? So don't do this mistake in the interview. Whenever you're not so comfortable you're writing, so pick up those questions where your probability of answering at least 70%. You think you will be able to solve it. Otherwise, there will be definitely a negative mark for you not opting for a question. But you opt and don't answer, then it's going to be fully negative. Instead, you can say
Okay,
like
okay.
probably I don't know at the moment. Roughly, I know if you want me to write the skeleton, I'll be able to write, but I'll not be able to write it fully. Okay, that way you can put instead of like accepting a problem and like not solving it. And also like do not debug live like this. This is applicable for you and
Okay,
audience
okay.
who are watching. Like this, the way you start debugging, I've told in multiple times in my videos. Whenever you start debugging, it creates an impression you're not confident about your code, Mother. I mean, I'm not saying like we will not make mistake. Like in the day-to-day activity, everybody do the debugging like this only. In interview, instead of debugging this way, try to do the mental debugging. Like let's say you go to one level of logging, not a problem. Don't go into like multiple level of logging and debug point, etc. Try to do that in mind
Okay, okay.
mapping and try to get probably where you're going wrong. Correct. So that gives you like more confidence to the interviewer. Like Madan is really aware of the concepts. Maybe small mistake he did, so he's able to come up with a solution that by putting couple of log statements. Okay. Don't get like
Mm.
too much of a debugging in the interviews. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And yeah, these are at a very high level, Madan, and some concepts like I asked you, right? Like for example, prototypal inheritance, call, apply, bind, promise, the callback, hell, and promise definition. See, all of these are like extremely basic question, Madan, and I don't think you're gonna get away without answering these questions in the interview. So you have to learn,
Mm.
and there's no escape for this. So whenever you're free, please read these questions carefully before going to the next interview. Okay. Any other closing notes, Madan? You have any questions or
Uh,
yeah?
yeah, only one question, Vasant. So even though if I learn I mean, the real-time implementation, so you asked about promises and prototype, call, apply, blind as well, right? Even though I know the concepts and know to code that, I also need to know that real definition of that,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
Uh, Bookish
I'll give you a
definition.
framework to actually read to you and again established audience also. The framework of reading every concept is very simple. Read the concept and understand the basic definition. So this basic definition is very essential because see what is hosting? Hosting, the people give a lot of definition, like a moving declaration on top of the block, etc. So the ideal definition is JavaScript engine because of this concept of like two-part execution, right? It appears to move declaration to the top of the block. See, there is a difference in appears to move declaration and move the declaration to the top of the block. Correct. So
Mm.
people say like why definition is necessary? We are not like a graduate students. It is necessary because you understand the concept very clearly. So first is definition. Second is a bookish example. Bookish example means the one on the MDM, the very basic one. You understand that. Third one is a practical example. For your experience of around 3 to 3.5 years, practical examples are not like very critical. But somebody who's having 5+ years, they need to should be able to give a practical example. Nobody will ask you hosting like you create like variable x and try to do console.log and tell x and x. That is not an example for 5+ years. Like you know the concepts, where did you use it? Correct. For example, closure. Everybody know inner function has access to outer function variable. That is not the use, right? So you are not learning for interview where you use it in your project. So one, definition, one practical example, one bookish example. If you learn these three for every topic that you're studying, you should be good for interview as well as your day-to-day work, Madan.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. So it was very nice talking to you, Madan. Like I got to know a lot about you and whatever the interview question that I ask. Every interview, I feel like a lot of learning for me also. I assume you also like the session, Madan.
Yeah, Vasanth, it's helpful. I got to know where I stand actually.
Yes, thank you so much, Madan. So for audience, whoever watched the video and whoever were able to answer all the questions that I asked, wonderful. If you don't know the answer, like I'm going to answer all the questions that I asked in the next part of the video. And if you not like the video, please like and subscribe to my channel Uncommon Geeks. Thank you so much. I watch you in the next video. So I think you've already watched the session with Madan, and in this particular short video, post video, where I'll be primarily explaining you answers to all the most of the questions that I asked. Okay, let me start the explanation. I'll not be answering every basic question that I asked, but primarily around the questions on the snippet driven or some of the important questions that I asked in the video, I'm trying to answer here. This was the first snippet that I asked for Madan. So if I run the code, the output for this is running the snippet. So the output for this, as you see, like is it start, end, inside promise, and inside set timeout. Okay. The answer that the Madan had given, initial answer was he had not considered, he had given in a different order, like start, end, and then he told inside sorry, he had told start, inside promise, then end, and inside timeout, because we considered like promise.resolve is resolving immediately. Let's consider that as the next thing to be printed. But right answer is whatever you are saying, that is start, end, inside promise, and inside set timeout. The reason for is very simple, like I've told in multiple other videos of mine also, where inside promise is basically executed first because it is an asynchronous task, and even set timeout also is an asynchronous task. Okay, so whenever basically the browser or the JS engine encounters this particular the promise line, it will be executing that in asynchronous way. As it is already resolved, it's going to be executed first compared to the set timeout. Okay, so that's a simple explanation for this. So keep this in your mind. Okay, and another snippet that I've given to Madan was this. I've tried to explain this to a certain level in the video itself, but I'm just giving you a little more explanation here. So variable created with var keyword is hoisted and initial with the default value of undefined. Correct. So variable created with latent cons are also hoisted, but they are not initial with any value, so you cannot use them unless they are declared. As simple as that. Okay. Now, if you look at this block, I'm calling a function called outer here, and inside which in line number 5 I have a console.log, and in line number 6 I have an inner function. In line number 9 I have a method called inner. Okay, and line number 10 I have variable x equal to 2. So if you look at a block from line number 4 to line number 11, I have a variable called variable x. Okay. And like I told, whenever you have a variable inside a block, that variable will be hoisted and the value of that variable will be initialized with a value of undefined. Only variable created with var keyword. So anywhere in this block, if you want to access the variable x, you can access. So the value of x would be undefined. So there is also variable outside this scope, right? Line number 3. That's the global variable. Whenever we have a global variable and a local variable, always the priority is given to the local variable. Let's say local variable is not there, then the priority will be given to the global variable. So let's say if I run this code, undefined. Why both are undefined is, so in this entire block, it knows the value of x as it has not come to line number 10. Line number 10 is the last line. So the where the actual definition or variable x getting defined. Till that all are actually it is only declared with a value of undefined. So here also it is 2, and here also it is undefined, here also it is undefined. Let's say if this is not there, then both of them I might have printed the value of 1. Okay, as you can see here. Now the other important question that I asked in the interview was like polyfills. Correct. So I asked like what are the reasons for creating the polyfills. One right reason he already gave in the video, that was we write the polyfills because let's say there is some implementation not readily available, we will use the polyfills for that. That is right. But in most cases that is not true, because whatever you want is most of the cases are available. The ideal reason why we would use polyfills is there are browsers which don't support the newer methods of whatever is coming in. Let's say we have an explorer and we have a new function that has been introduced, and that particular function may not be supported in the old browser. In such situations, we'll try to mock those behavior by writing the polyfills. So remember this. And I asked you to write a for him a custom implementation of array.map method that I've clearly explained in my playlist. So where writing the custom implementation for built-in methods, array.map itself I have written here. I have opened the video. I'll try to put this link somewhere in the description, also in the somewhere in the top of the video. So please check this out. Another thing that I asked in the interview was regarding the hosting concepts that I've already explained, but you want to understand hosting in detail, you can go and check out this particular playlist of mine. Again, I put this link also in the screen as well as in the chat section, description section. Please go ahead and check it out. And all the other questions that I asked, like prototypal inheritance, closure related questions, all of them are like readily available in this playlist. This is the one place that you can refer 31 videos where you should be able to clear most of the interview. Okay, in this playlist, please refer. Again, I'm going to put this in chat section also on the top of the screen. Thank you so much for watching. If you still have any questions that are unclear for you, mention that in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Thank you so much. Catch you in the next video.